British Columbia, Vancouver Island. It's day 5 and we travelled from Port Hardy to Campbell River. I was waiting for Kathleen to say that, but she didn't. You wish you would have stayed. You wish you would have booked for another week, don't you?
Yes, it has so many bays and just stunning spots.
So many more things to do. Anyhow, first let's just check out the RV park. Temperature is currently 13 degrees in Port Hardy. They're like well-oiled machines living in RV world, which we're really liking at the moment because it's all systems. So we're washed up and we go outside and we've got to, what do we do first, dummy?
Well, I put in the slide outs.
Pull in the slide outs, there's the beds and the kitchen, the lounge room will slide out and make the van bigger.
Then we can put the bikes on.
Then we put the bikes on the back, mountain bikes that we hide, which is the best thing we've ever done.
And then we can start detaching the sewage, the water, and the power.
We have the sewer hose.
Oh, okay.
So that, and I just gotta get you guys some gloves.
Yeah.
Because we want to be gloved up.
Yeah.
For this
Then
adventure.
we turn off the propane and then we turn off the fridge.
Now we're ready to go. Goodbye, Port Hardy. We've had a wonderful time. There's the little tent that somebody's staying in. I don't know how they can stay in the tent.
Gosh, it's so cold.
But it's been amazing. I mean,
Oh, look at all the geese. Wow.
so we're driving from Port Hardy to Elk Falls, is it? What'd you think of Port Hardy, darling?
It was quite fascinating actually. I found the weather phenomenon was quite interesting. It was very foggy until about 11 or 12 o'clock, and then the sun blasted through. It was beautiful. We had lots of adventures. I did my trademark fall off the bike. So tick, that's done for this holiday. And we found a really great place to fly Alice. What did you think of Port Hardy?
I thought it was great. It was absolutely beautiful. You know, it's a little fishing port. Well, I shouldn't say little. There's about, I don't know, 200 fishing boats there. And then the thing I found amazing was that little bay we rode to last night, yesterday afternoon. What was the name of that?
Scotia Bay.
Scotia Bay. You go to a place like Vancouver Island, which is remote, then you drive right up to Port Hardy, which is pretty much at the top as far as you can drive. Then from Port Hardy you drive another 6k and there's we rode, but you drive another 6k and there's a Aborigine First Nations people reservation they call here, reservation. Where they're really nice, they settle out to us as we rode through. And then a kilometre past that, or a mile past that, there's this little place, this little cove, where there's one guy running a caravan park, and it's that remote that he has an open kitchen with all the pots and pans. And what I mean by open, it only had 3 walls. It was like, it was just an outdoor kitchen. It was just, how does somebody get to live in a place like that? other thing I think is amazing is we're really enjoying RV world at the moment.
I'm not sure. The trip, or is it what we've discovered so far? Like what you were saying earlier, you know, that everyone pushes you to go to Tofino, it's beautiful, go here, go there. And then we've found other places, like even just rest stops that are just beautiful.
Wow, look at that. It's just so scenic. So we've already done the filming for this day and we forgot the vital part. The most exciting thing was Elk Falls. Explain Elk Falls, darling.
Okay, so the Vancouver Island hydroelectric scheme was set up through Elk Falls, where you've got all the water coming through a very narrow gorge, and they had previously, in the 1950s, they'd set it up with this huge wooden pipe to transport the water through. They've since updated it, and they've got these beautiful waterfalls. So we went through to have a look at the waterfalls. What did you find fascinating about it?
Yeah, that was great. You know, I've spent half my life doing engineering, and for somebody to make a 10-foot diameter pipe out of wood and transfer millions of gallons of water, it's just mind-boggling in the engineering world. It was just lovely. And the other thing I must add, they had this tiny little shed that nobody wanted to go into. You know when you walk into something, you go, oh, no, I don't want to walk in there. And it had a little lady in it.
Yeah.
And the little lady was like the librarian from the council. And she'd been banned from the library because she'd been talking. And she'd been put out to this little shed. And she explained the history of it. And it was sensational. It was really good. And it's very similar to our Snowy Mountain scheme. It was constructed in the same period.
Say that. Yeah, and Manipuri in New Zealand, from the sounds of it, I've had people say, except that one's much bigger.
Much bigger, yeah. Now after the war, which was a similar period that you guys built this, it was the largest project in Australia. And,
oh, okay. And that was the Snowy Mountain?
yeah, the Snowy Mountain scheme.
Wow. So it's aging, or it's very old?
Yeah, it's aging, but we didn't build ours out of timber.
Right. You use what you have, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's great that you... So why do you think that this dirt track, or this great big dry riverbed, is interesting, darling?
Well, it's because it used to be the old hydroelectric system, and it was essentially the pipe that they used that was made out of Douglas fir. So it was almost like a whole wooden barrel that went all the way along here that they transported the water through. They've just finished building a new hydroelectric.
Going to see the Elk River waterfalls and the suspension bridge. And the extra bonus here, the forests are absolutely stunning as you walk through down to the suspension bridge, but just the life that lives on the ground, all the moss. Come on, puppy dog. Up you come. Hard work? Hard work?
Yeah, it is. But I don't go in the big one. Oh, yeah. Just this? Yeah.
That lip, exactly plan.
It's a bit hard. Now we're back in the van for a 10-minute drive down the Campbell River where we're going to get blown away. How beautiful. Wow, look at that. That's just so scenic.
The scenery is stunning, and yeah, it is quite a nice drive.
It's lovely. It's like here. Where are we now? We're at Darling Harbour, Sydney, aren't we?
Yes, we're at Darling Harbour. That's the one.
It's stunning. I mean, and it's getting nicer and nicer. Got to come to Sydney. Okay, and when we finally arrived at Campbell River, and it was getting late, so then we drove to the caravan park. And this is our first big caravan park where we'll be stopping and lots of people live at permanently.
And it was packed. It was cheek by jowl for each RV and caravan park. So caravan.
And we jumped on our bikes and had a ride along the seafront. One of the best things we did on this holiday, or are doing, is we've hired bikes and we've put them on the back of the RV. It's just sensational. 2 minutes ride from the caravan park, right in the middle of Campbell River. There's this First Nation burial site. I'll let Kathleen explain the history of the carvers.
Master carver Sam Henderson created an artistic legacy which is carried on by succeeding generations of his family. Many of the totem poles seen throughout the city were carved by Sam in his shed beside the Henderson home. Dedicated to their cultural traditions, Sam and his wife May
There we go, the carvings. They're just everywhere. In Campbell River, every corner. Guys are like this, just waiting to meet you. There's everything. Right in front of the fancy restaurants, there's cruise boats. You ride along the harbour and there's carvings, stunning. Beautiful little harbour, token poles everywhere. There's our little RV right alongside the river. Quite a nice sight. But the caravan park is just massive. And speaking of massive, have a go at some of these vans. They're bigger than the flat we live in back in Australia. For the next 2 days, we're going to have one of the most amazing times we've ever had. Beautiful. So if you like this video, what do?
Give us a thumbs up and a like, and you can subscribe. Press the subscribe button.
Look where we are. Can you believe this? Have a guess. Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. Beautiful.